super close inspection.
Not often you get a good look at the ARB locker here. This is the ass end of the Growler. You can see he's got a shave kit here, and there's 4 bolts that go across. And I had a hard time because it was just getting so badly damaged from rock. So when the cover goes back on, Mike's gonna weld probably another piece of steel, make a little custom skid plate on that. Jeez. And then today, the idea is to open up the
Look at the bottom of this cover.
open up the front locker. Oh yeah, so this is what we're talking about. See the...
Now these holes were always close to the edge.
Yeah, look at that.
But I'm gonna reinforce that whole thing.
So just from dragging over rock.
Yep.
And this is the shave kit for the 14 bolt, correct?
This is it.
Yep. So at the whole bottom of the differential gets shaved off, and then you get a flat bar that goes on. You can see it right there. You can see it across a flat, what, 5/8 of an inch thick plate maybe?
It's about 5/8.
And then notice it has a little notch out of this right here for the spider gear. All right, so Mike has an inner axle seal leak. What side, Colin?
Both sides.
Both sides. All right, so the mighty, I guess this is what, equivalent to a Dana 70? Is that correct?
Well, it's kind of a Dana 60, and then it's got parts of it.
60 housing with 70 gears in it.
Yeah.
Okay, 60 housing with 70 gears. So I've never seen the front of this taken apart, so this would be kind of nice, but we got to pull the axles, the carrier out. Mike wants to rebuild the seals, correct? The ARB, he thought he might have a leak.
I might put some new seals in there for
Yeah.
the slip ring just because.
Yep, okay.
But this is a hybrid. I built this housing years ago. And it's
Yeah.
78, 79 Dana 60 high pinion. It used to be the rear end in this Jeep a long time ago.
Wow.
So we retubed it, made it back to a front end.
Huh.
And I had put Dana 70, high pinion Dana 70 in. You'll probably get comments, those don't exist, you can't buy those, they don't make them. Well, they did make them, and GM used them in the Kodiak 4500, 5500 trucks. That went away for a while, and then they came back. I don't know if they came back with the same axle,
Yep.
but they used a high pinion front Dana 70, and they were only available in 513s and 538s to my knowledge. But that's what these are, 513 high pinion 70 gears.
Yep. So that'll be today's project, basically, is to start ripping all of this apart and get this all taken out.
This front, if you notice on the other side, or if you want to show it,
Yep.
this is a Carl Jantz
I knew you had some Carl Jantz stuff.
Dana-
Oh, that's that pin, right?
76 kit, I think he calls it.
Yeah.
So it's his kit that puts the 70 gears into the 60 housing.
And this is basically what Tim is doing on Dwayne's LJ. The same thing, right?
Yep.
So that's supposed to
so
stop
he's got
any internal movement or absorb
So this was really nice when it was in the rear, because in the rear with a high pinion, you're driving on the coast side of the gear, which is the steeper part of the gear tooth. So it wedges the gears apart much more than running on the traditional side. Now this is back in the front, it's running on the correct side of the gear.
Okay.
But the load bolt was already there, so we kept it.
Kept it, yep. So there we go, huh? Underneath the mighty Growler. I don't get to look at it that often like this.
Gotta pull the subframe, pull the transmission pan too, because that's leaking.
Yep.
The transmission pan is leaking?
Yeah.
okay.
I can tell it's a little damp.
Yeah, okay. So,
It's been leaking for a
yeah,
while.
so, oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it hasn't had a training service in
Well, that's true
a
too.
couple years.
All right, so yeah, so Willwood calipers, they're huge, but see these bolts right here? 1/2 inch, so you can see I'm loosening those up. Mighty 6-piston Willwood calipers, and as Mike said, they don't float. They just go on those studs, and they stay stationary.
So I went with these brakes over the 4 pistons that are on the back,
Wow. Yeah, wow, a lot of meat on those pads, jeez.
because in low range, I could never hold this thing if it was in gear.
I struggle with the JK in low range with
these
my
brakes,
stocks.
in low range,
Yeah.
I could stop on the
Yeah.
downhill.
That's why Dan changed his out to Willwood. He just felt that he couldn't stop the vehicle. Oh yeah, right here. Here you go. So you can see that the size of those freaking U-joints. Yeah, just mud and dirt is fighting here. That's all. Begin to tell you how big.
You gotta get an idea from the guy.
and heavy. These freaking axle shafts. Wow. Yeah, so we just beat the rotor off of that thing. So not bad. You can see that we just pulled the passenger out. So the ram, you can see it's like a bridge clamp that goes over the top.
So this is it's a 2.5 inch by 10 inch ram. The 10 inch was necessary to get full steering out of this thing.
Crazy.
Might be warm. Get ground up on the bottom.
Yeah, a little bit. Pretty impressive. Yeah, I've never seen this taken apart. Good. Both axles are out already. The Willwood calipers. Got some washers right there. The nuts are back on.
Probably go right back in.
So 8 of these bolts to take the clamps off that actually secure the piston.
Now, if we were doing...
Probably would be a big help to get at that front diff cover.
Yeah, because there's a bolt right up in here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
But it's a good chance to
Get that.
take a look at all this stuff anyway.
Yeah. But it's in between a real nice skid plate here. This skid plate, huh?
Yeah.
Really protects it nicely. So with those 8 bolts out, you can see the clamps. Kind of nice.
And they're notched. There's
Yeah.
little notches, so that
Fit
keeps
right into the grooves.
everything... from
Hydraulic in, hydraulic out. Made by Howe. And now you get all kinds of wiggle room. Oh, wow. Okay. So those come out too.
Yep. And the block on the bottom.
Huh. Oh, so it's all just sandwiched in there.
Yep. That's
Including this huge block. Look at this, guys. Wow.
Solid.
Wow.
solid steel.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Probably
all
could be made
just-
out of aluminum.
All just, hey, easy,
Hey,
easy.
whoa, hey.
All just sandwiched together. Oh.
This one is beveled because it has
Yeah.
to fit in the curve.
All right, so you can see that we left one bolt in at the top. Now what happens is these bottom bolts get completely shaved off from rock. So I got 2 bolts down there that we got to get with vice grips to get off. There we go. Nice, nice. I saw some movement there.
Just gotta get the...
Yeah. And you can see the ram is up out of the way. Disconnected the linkage here on these little heim joints. There were double washers on one side, single on the others with big bolts that go through. And that's just sitting out of the way with the bungee cord. Good look. You can see just how ground down these freaking bottom two or three bolts get. You can see how the shave kit is right there, and it just takes a beating driving over rock. But I think we'll get it with the vice grips.
How bad does that cover look?
Not terrible.
How's it?
Not bad. There you go. Nice
Gonna go
movement.
little by little.
Yeah, you got movement. Starting to get a little diff oil coming out. That's good.
Might be able to
Yeah,
pound a
might
socket
be able
or
to get it
something
now
on
with a socket. You got speedy dry. Well, there you go. How's that shit right there?
I will. Thanks, Tony.
So that bolt's just sitting in the cover now. Obviously, that one there is loose.
there. What?
All right, just took a little bit of time with a air flap wheel. Cleaned all of that off. Some of the old gaskets, some RTV. Looks pretty good. All in all, not bad. You can see that, wow, man, that ring and pinion just barely fits in this big boy. All right, Mike just undid this ARB 90-degree connector there that passes the air through to engage the locker. And now, is it customary to I guess it is, right? Because you can't have that,
Yeah,
can't have
'cause
that
the-
attached if you're going to pull the carrier out.
The copper comes
Yeah.
out with the carrier,
Yeah,
but for
okay.
some reason it's just caught up on the O-rings in
Yeah,
here.
It's fighting you a little bit.
So
This is the famous ARB air locker. Okay, so for all you ARB guys, look at what goes on here. O-ring, brass collar. Mike's trying to get another O-ring out, and then this piece is threaded into it, into the connector piece that Mike has. quite a bit. Let's talk about this ARB air fitting. You got this down pretty good, Mike.
So this gets screwed into the housing, 1/4-inch pipe, and obviously this one came out, so that'll get resealed.
And your tubing would be going up through that small hole into this.
Correct. The copper
Right into that, the
tubing
copper tubing. So this is your pass-through. This is how you get your air from your air line. Then it goes through the housing and turns into the copper tubing.
The copper would stick up through here.
Yep, like so.
Then you would put on O-ring,
O-ring,
brass spacer,
brass spacer.
another O-ring, and these are in good shape. These aren't that old, so I'm going to reuse them.
Terrific. O-ring.
Those would go down in there. The copper tubing, everything would pull down in, and then this
compresses everything.
little, you could, I don't know if it picks up. It's got a little taper in there, and it's a Phillips head.
And just go hand tight, and it just compresses everything.
So that all gets buried down in here, and then that leaves
just the
enough
90
for
degree.
another 1/8 inch.
Yeah.
This one happens to be 1/8 inch British parallel pipe by 1/4-inch air hose. I had to find these fittings. I was able to find them. I bought a bunch of them because I run all copper or a 1/4-inch airline, not the ARB stuff. Because it's much easier to get 1/4-inch airline and fix it locally.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Quite a little intricate.
And this is just flat.
Fitting,
There's no taper on this. It's just a flat little spacer. So I'm going to put those in a...
For the guys that run ARB, put it in a baggie where you don't... It's kind of interesting. This would be the right side, which is this side. So obviously this side had the race and it had these shims. But the left side has that one race. And Mike was telling me that ARB does it a little differently. If you look in there, you can see the shims are on the inside of the bearing. So, learn something new. That's just what ARB does, apparently.
So when I go to set these up, I actually have a dummy bearing that'll slip over that.
Yeah.
And then this side, I believe, takes a thinner... This one's a little different because this is a Dana 70 diff in a 60 housing.
Yeah, 70
so
diff in a 60 housing.
To begin with.
Some people probably wondering, hey man, what's this coupling all about? This actually had broken some time ago, so Mike did a repair, and it's just an 1/8 of an inch coupling, a compression coupling.
Yeah, whatever this is.
Whatever
this is
size
an
that
ARB,
tubing is,
So that came right from them.
I don't know. I mean, I look at this and I say, wow, it looks like 1/8 inch tubing, but it's obviously some type of metric shit.
It's their crap.
Inspect the gears here. Everything looks beautiful. Nothing noticeable or out of the ordinary there. That's nice. Look over here at the housing. Had to use gently use one of these big pry bars to kind of just roll it out of the housing. We'll be knocking these seals out. Obviously, both inner axle seals are leaking, so they're coming out. Mike's inspecting the pinion gear.
Pinion, I don't see any broken teeth. There's no sharp, I mean, they're not sharp pointed, but there's no burrs on it. I think that thing's fine. Now, Colin was concerned that the pinion seal might have been leaking.
No, go look on the other side. I don't.
So whether we pull the yoke off and...
It looks pretty freaking dry over here.
It was leaking when it had oil.
Oh, maybe you're thinking because it was so low on oil? Okay.
So we'll pop that drive shaft?
Yeah, so the drive shaft's coming out, and it looks like...
Pull the yoke off and put a seal in it. I may have a seal, I may not.